friends, good morning. It's sharp 11 a.m. and we are ready to start today's webinar where we are going to hear more about the Visa at Your Doorstep facilities offered by VFS Global. Thank you all for joining us today as we discuss this extremely important and exciting topic. I can see that you already have lots of questions about it. So please continue to ask your questions and we will be taking up questions in the second half of this webinar. We want to keep this webinar extremely interactive. So we will try and ask maximum questions. Please do not share your personal problems or case file numbers or application numbers. I will not be reading out any personal one-on-one issues. If you have anything more that you need to know about Visa at Your Doorstep, please ask about that in the chat tab. In case you can't hear us or see us, there is a reconnect button on the top of your screens. Press the reconnect button and you should be able to hear us and see us after that. A recording of this webinar will also be shared with you in the next 24 hours. So please don't, if you miss out on anything, don't panic. We will be sharing a recording of this webinar. I would like to now start by introducing the VFS team who are here with us on our screen today. I have with us Mr. Vishal Jairat, the head South Asia for VFS Global. Thank you, Mr. Jairat. Thank you for joining us. Next, I have Mr. Henry Moses, head sales for VFS Global. Followed by Mr. Amit Baby, Senior Manager Operations for VFS Global, and Mr. Abdul Sheikh, Senior Manager Operations for VFS Global. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you all for joining us today. Mr. Vishal Jairat, we would love for you to hear your opening address and for you to say a few words. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. And welcome to this webinar this morning. And thank you for taking the time to attend the webinar. I'm very pleased to be, introduced to you and to be speaking to you all. My name is Vishal Jairat, and I've recently taken over as the head of South Asia in this region. Some of you might know me from my previous tenure. I served here in the region between 2011 to 2014. I bring with me a comprehensive experience of about 27 years, mostly from the hospitality, quick service restaurant, infrastructure, and the outsourcing industry. 17 years of my career I have had with VFS Global of the total 27. I started with the company in 2005 and have served the organization in various territories. I've lived in South Africa, in India, in Thailand, UAE, and more recently in China. In terms of the year 2022, we are already very privileged and very happy to see the resurgence of travel from India, international travel from India. I think we are very fortunate that the international travel has resumed, at least in this individuals, on families, emotionally that has impacted people. Either they have had loss of loved ones or they've had separations from their families. So it has impacted each one of us in some way, some form or the other. But most importantly, I think it has changed the way we do business and the way clients like to engage with us. We've seen change of behaviors, change of habits, where most of them tend to avoid crowded places and want safe, convenient environment, isolated groups, smaller gatherings to be able to engage and do business. And this particular product service, which we have innovated, called the Visa at Your Doorstep, I think perfectly addresses that particular change of user behavior. And we are already seeing very significant uptake of this particular service in the year 2022, and we are very hopeful that in 2023 it will have even further uptake and customers appreciate this particular service. In continuance with our engagement with stakeholders from the industry, like yourselves, we thought it wise to engage with you and to familiarize you with the service for your own benefits and for the benefit of your customers. So, my colleagues, Henry, who heads the sales function across B2B sales functions across.
Over to you, Mr.
Thank you, Devika. Thank you, Vishal. Good morning, everyone. I am Abdul Sheikh, and I've been working with VFS for like 14 years now, and been a part of the Visa at Your Doorstep service for good 10 years. So a quick introduction on what Visa at Your Doorstep is. We've started Visa at Your Doorstep for UK visas in 2011, and the first clinic at that time, it was called the Mobile Biometric Clinic, started in 2011 in Goa. Post that, there have been changes, there have been, modifications and uptakes of the service, but all in all, it's grown as a service. We've seen the demand, we've seen the usage of the service going up. Lot of innovations from VFS side to keep the kits and all as compatible as it could be. So let me take you first on what Visa at Your Doorstep is. Visa at Your Doorstep is a service where it's a convenient service where you can apply at the comfort of your location. You don't have to come to the visa application center. What we do here is we come to your place where you want us to service the application. We come there and execute your application, the biometrics. It completely takes off your visit to the visa application center. Popular service everywhere at the moment, and the uptake should be brilliant in the future if the awareness goes up. So Devika, if I may just request you to put on the video if you don't mind. So the video demonstrated on how and what happens when you enroll for the service. Now, what are the benefits of Visa at Your Doorstep for governments? Now, every government wants the reach of customers to be, quite elaborately to be there very nearby. Now, this service enables us to ensure that every customer has a reach to a visa application center. What this service enables the governments to do is that a customer should not be traveling to a location, whereas VFS comes to their location and does it. So it is basically improved support to the client governments, customizable solutions to the support and the client governments, wider network and covering multiple cities. So it's basically that VFS presence is currently in 17-18 cities where with this service we can reach right from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, wherever you want us to come. It's just that you need to tell us what is the group size and what is, if there is an individual request, it helps us coming there and executing the service. Benefits is, as I mentioned, you don't need to travel to a visa application center. That's completely eliminated. Visa application submission process at the comfort of your home or office or any of your preferred location. So for a travel partner, it can be a travel agent's office as well. What we need from you is a simple room with a table and 2 chairs, preferably white light and an internet connection if possible. Appointment available on weekend. So if you hold a valid appointment and you want us to come on a weekend, yes, we will come and service you on a weekend. Service available across multiple cities. It's basically that I think, as far as I understand the service, we've covered almost every part of India, and it's working really, really well. Who can use this service is basically an individual, a group of customers, popular for MICE travel. What happens in a MICE travel is that a lot of people come from different parts of the country. What we can do here is our team can travel to 5 locations in 5 days and complete the entire MICE, where the travel partner need not get these people to a visa application center. makes them stay in the city for a particular duration. So that is a cost saver for the customers too. There are attractive packages which Mr. Henry will take on later. So the most important aspect of this service is not only convenience but the safety. You don't have to come to a visa application center where there you would see some kind of crowd. Here, it's your own service. I mean, you are deciding on it. So what we follow through and through is the WHO set guidelines in terms of maintaining the health and safety of the customers. It's something that is really personal, and it makes you feel like a personal touch at all times. Locations where we could do VFID. VFID is visa at your doorstep, and it can be a private residence. It can be a private room as a business center, private room in a travel agency, shipping ports, maritime vessels, private room in a company building, hotel business room, student campuses. So, I mean, it's basically that we can cover every aspect. And when you want us to be there to enroll the biometrics and to accept your application, we can easily travel to a location and completely accept what we do here in a visa application center. So the VFID service is an end-to-end service. It's right, what happens in a center happens at your location. Once the visa application is accepted, it is processed and sent to the consulates for processing, and a courier charge which is complimentary in the service. Once the decision on the application is done, the applications are processed and sent back via courier. So even for the return courier, even for collection of passports, we take care of you. We take care of that in the service, and we absolutely ensure that everything works well for you. Countries where VFS offers this service, I mean, I would leave 10 seconds on the presentation slide so that you could have a view. Moving on, in India at the moment, the client governments offering VFID services are listed on the screen. There are quite a number of countries that are doing, but we all know that the mission client governments has enforced certain restrictions in the number of applications. Hence, at times we ask you for a confirmed appointment to service the ODMV or the VFID request. Leaving 10 seconds on the screen for to make a note if need be. So I would hand over the presentation to my colleague, Mr. Amit Bedi, who shall take it over from here. Thank you all and have a nice day ahead.
Friends, we are just waiting for Mr. Amit Bedi to join. In the meanwhile, if you have more questions, I can see a lot of questions coming in. If you have more questions about VFID, please feel free to ask your questions. We will try and get all the questions answered by VFS today. If not, we will get back to you with the responses. So please try and ask all your questions today. We are still waiting for Mr. Bedi to...
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Devika. Thank you, Abdul, for giving me this opportunity. Good morning, everyone. I handle Delhi operations for the VFID and serve in North India as well. As my colleague Abdul just told you about how the service is given, I would just take you through the customer service process. Once we receive an email from the customers or from the agents directly through in the IDs which have been specially designed for VFIDs. It's like it's a VFID for North, East, West and South. Internally, my team takes it to the operations. If the date is available and the appointment is valid, we send the confirmation to the applicant or to the agent in regards to the VFID service. Before that, before the service of the VFID, we do send an invoice for the payment on the email IDs of the applicants or the agents, whatever email ID has been given to us, and on the day of the VFID service, we give the invoice cum receipts to the agents or the applicants, whosoever is taking this service. Then on the day, the team would come to your place. They would set up. We would, as Abdul said, we would only require an office setup, which could be comprising of a small room with a 2-table chair office setup, so that, and it should have a bright light and a white background to click live pictures. This is very important. Plus, internet should be running in through. VFS team would help customers in arranging the documents. I repeat, VFS team would help customers or the agents in arranging the documents, but at the same time, they would follow the checklist. They would not be able to fill in forms on your behalf at that day, on the day of service. So my request, whosoever is opting for this service, please make sure that the documents are ready a day prior. If you want, all the documents are ready prior to this service. Then the team would come, they would check your documents, enroll your biometrics, and they would take the application with them. Or if the applications are more, they would connect it to a Blue Dart. We have a service partner as a courier who is Blue Dart. They take care of the logistic arrangements as well. VFS team would return, and the applications would come in via cargo of the Blue Dart, and then they would be processed at the center. Once the applications are processed at the center, we send them to the embassy for the visa application, and once returned, they are couriered back to you, as said by Abdul. So moving on to next slide. This is how the kit looks like. We have kit which is safely transported in the Pelican boxes. This Pelican box would contain a laptop, a camera, a fingerprint scanner, and a digital signature pad. We only travel by road or by flight. We do not use rail as a transport medium because these kits are highly secured. At times, the kits are stopped at the railway security, and so we normally don't travel by railway. So we have been given ample travel arrangements by the agents or by the applicants that we can arrange for a travel through train, but that is completely a no, because these Pelican boxes are not allowed in train. This is a point to be noted for sure. Moving on to next slide. So as I said, the components of the VFID kit is a laptop, a digital camera, a fingerprint scanner, and a digital signature pad. Signatures are required in some of the missions. We work according to the mission. In some missions, we take a live photograph. In some missions, we scan a photograph, but fingerprints are required in most of the missions at the time of submission. So at times, when this service is being offered, people or the applicants or the agents would say, like, the fingerprints were taken already a year ago or a year ago or 2 years ago. So do a person really needs to give the fingerprints? My suggestion or my request would be, as you're already paying for this service, request you to please call up the applicant there and then at the day of service, so that the fingerprints can be taken again, because at times fingerprints are not fetched in embassy. Then we have to call up the client again to the VFS application center for that particular fingerprint. So moving on to next slide. Health and safety precautions. Our team who is visiting you is at a VFS global staff that visit the preferred location at the scheduled time and date, observes all health and safety measures in line with the guidelines from WHO and local authorities, including physical distancing, disinfection of equipment, temperature checks, usage of face masks and gloves throughout the entire process. Even the team is vaccinated as well with the 2+1 dose. so they are entirely safe as and when they are traveling to your place. This is one thing, data protection and privacy assurance, GDPR. We are GDPR compliant. It's like we deal with so much of data, and our data policies are such that every data we take in regards to the entries of the applicants are deleted from the system in due course of time once the application is processed. Some data are processed in some data are deleted in 15 days, some in 30 days, as per the policies set by the client governments. Over to you, Henry. Thank you so much. You have a nice day ahead.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining in today. My name is Henry Moses, and my role is typically to bring travel agent and VFS Global together and also create some revenue opportunity for travel agents. So post-pandemic, I think it's very important that there is a partnership. I think that's the only way to create some incremental revenue opportunities. Did you ever think that visa process can, bring in incremental revenue? So here today, we're going to talk about that. In today's travel landscape, 50% of travel transaction happens online. So APIs talk and people book their hotel, airline tickets, and travel happens, right? But I think that's where travel agent comes into play when there is a requirement of visa, because that cannot happen online unless it's an e-visa. So I personally feel that should be the hook for travel agents to make money, make incremental revenue by processing visas and selling our products, and in the bargain they make money out of it, right? And when and I think that's where we talk about VFYD and other products and services. So I will talk about how we are bringing in travel agent and VFS closer. So now we have introduced a dedicated sales team available in different markets. Right now, Delhi, Mumbai, Calcutta, Bangalore, Hyderabad present right now. But at the same time, we are also bringing in people in Ahmedabad, Cochin, Chennai very, very quickly. But this team, manages the relationship. At the same time, we do not intervene in getting appointments or expediting the visa process, because it's very, very strictly monitored and controlled by the missions. But you can reach out to us at b2bsales@vfsglobal.com and we'll respond to you. And this is something new we have started, and to make sure that there's incremental revenue opportunities for travel agents. And we've also changed and brought some new changes to whole setup. So there are special submission hours for travel agents for selected mentioned embassies. There's separate queue to enter Visa Application Center for travel agents. Dedicated sales manager, as I talked about, we have people available in different cities. We've also introduced credit card payments, acceptance in certain missions wherever missions allow. And also for bulk submission, we have introduced payment links. So let's say there are 100 passports, you don't have to bring in so much of cash. We send the payment link and that is sorted. That's where also we think about all the revenue opportunities, because when you have a bulk submission, you withdraw a lot of cash and there are bank charges almost at the rate of 2%. So we make sure that you don't have to withdraw that cash and pay that money, pay that fee of 2%. So in that case, if there are a high number of passports, you talk to sales team, operation team, we organize a payment link, and payment link is sent and you make the payment without withdrawing any cash and avoiding that 2% charge. So especially talking about VAYD, and I believe it's a low-hanging fruit for travel agents to make revenue. So there are the three particular section and audience which I feel you can target. So all business class, first class passengers who are paying lakhs of rupees to buy that ticket, I'm very sure they're okay to pay, let's say 9,900 for, let's say, UK VAYD, because they're already paying for comfort. So that's the target audience you should pursue. Then other one is senior corporate employees, VPs, CEOs, CFOs, traveling paid by company, and they don't want to spend 3 hours, 4 hours in our application center to process a visa. So if you offer this service to them, and I'm very sure they will accept this offer and they will avail this service. I think one of my favorite target audience is tier 2, tier 3 travelers. For biometrics, they have to come to metro cities for biometric fingerprints. So, and they have to pay for hotel, they have to pay for airline tickets, or they have to pay for their travel arrangements. At the same time, they also spend almost a day or a couple of hours to process this visa. So here we come and process the visa in their own cities. So all travel agents, especially from tier 2, tier 3 cities, here is the opportunity to make sure that you avail the service, and there is a revenue model for you, which I will talk about in next slides. So these three audience, especially, I think it's easy to capture, and you should target these target audience. We're also bringing in some technology, which we will share and introduce very soon. One of them is B2B login. In one login, you can do all your transactions. So, and that can be identified, incentivized, and tracked. So we are working on that. It will take some time, but vision is there to bring that product to you. Like LCC, you have float there, and all the transaction is tracked, reported. So all that can happen. So we are working towards that. So here our offer. If you scan this QR code, you will see we have loaded lots of offers, e-visa offer, premium lounge offer. But I want to talk about especially a visa at doorstep offer. So its offer is very simple and easy, and you can make 1,000 to 3,000 rupees per VAYD transaction. So as long as you complete 25 transactions up to February, which is a very, very small number, right? You make about 10%. And on a higher slab, if you do 150 VAYD up to February, you can earn up to 25%. It's a very, very simple number. So if you say 25, if you look at number 25, in 4 months, maybe 6 VAYD in a month, and you get 10%. Same for 150, you do 25 or 30 VAYD in a month, you can get 25%. So here is the opportunity to make revenue. I was attending TAFE, and where we were still exploring opportunities of revenue, airline commissions. Did you ever think that airline visa process can bring you that kind of revenue? I've been in the industry. I've seen many revenue models, but I still feel that earning 2,500 to 3,000 rupees on one transaction is more than any airline revenue. LCC revenue, you make almost 50 rupees and transact on 50 rupees per LCC ticket. Here on per transaction, you make almost 2,500 to 3,000 rupees on one transaction. So I encourage you to avail this service and in the bargain make revenue, right? And we have sales team who would be available to assist you, and ops team to assist you to make sure that it's a seamless process. And with this, we value your partnership and your continued support. And at the same time, we bring in revenue opportunity from here on. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Moses. That was a lovely presentation. Friends, I can see a lot of you have been asking questions. We will try and cover as many questions as we can today. Otherwise, we will share responses with you over email later. So please don't worry, all your questions will get answered. I am not taking up any questions regarding personal appointments. That is not the agenda behind the webinar today, so we will not be taking up any of those questions. VFS team, thank you for that lovely presentation. You've opened a Pandora's box of questions with all that information that you shared with us. I'm just going to dive right into the questions and start asking questions one by one. So when it comes to the visa at your doorstep fee that is charged, does that include the visa fee also, or do they have to pay the visa fee separately?
So I'll take that up, Devika. So the VFID fee that is paid is a VFID fee. So the visa fee is separate, unless the UK visa fees is always paid online. So that's a separate service altogether.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So does the application process become faster with VFID?
The submission process, yes, but the decision of the application goes under the standard processing time. So the utilization of the service nowhere pushes your processing time.
Perfect. Here I just want to add another question that's coming up repeatedly. Is the appointment, can you explain the appointment process for me?
But for the Schengen client governments at the moment, what we're seeing is there is a restriction, there is a capping on the number of appointments that we are supposed to accept each day. What's happening is that it's very important for us to ensure that we go by the books, what is being told to us by the local embassy or the consulate. So for Schengen at the moment, a lot of Schengen client governments are on the verge of restricting, and kind of appointment is a mandate to get the service done. So yes, for Schengen at the moment, most of them, yes, it's a mandate, but for UK it can be worked around a little.
Perfect. Does the client need to visit the VFS center post the VFID process?
Not really. I mean, there's no need, because we do what we do in a visa application center at the location of the customer. What happens is, if a client government wants a visa interview, like a video conferencing stuff, then you might need to visit, but that's kind of rare. I mean, it doesn't really happen that much.
Okay. How long does the process take in the client's home or office, the setup and the biometrics and everything?
While Mr. Bedi was presenting the slide, it's a very portable kit. It's a Pelican bag that we carry. The setup basically includes a CCTV setup as well as the recording of these transactions of Is
the fee same for kids and infants?
Yes, it is same, because it's visa at your doorstep. So what we actually want to do is that even kids in some countries where they want to travel, we need a live photo. So it's a matter of convenience. It's a matter of how many passports we accept. The fees is charged as per that, and it's like that. So yes, the fees are the same for kids and infants.
So, and how does one get their passport back after
it's a free return of courier, but it's a part of the service fee. So what we charge is courier fees is included in that. So it's you don't need to worry. Once you offer the service, we come to you for the application and we make sure your passport is delivered to you safely. We use Blue Dart service, and it's a very reliable service in India. So you need to be rest assured when you use the service.
Wonderful. So I've got a lot of requests for where all you can take visa at your doorstep. I've got requests asking, can it be done in...
Have internet.
Yeah. I have another request that has come in. And I think we have some people who've joined us from Lebanon and from Denmark. So are these processes available internationally as well?
It is. I mean, if you go to the VFS Global website, it's kind of simple. So what you need to do here is go to the VFS corporate website. It's www.vfsglobal.com. You put in your country of residence and you put in your country where you want to travel. You will see an option. Can't visit the application center. The visa application center would come to you. You go onto that link, fill up a web form, and you will be contacted within 24 to 48 hours. So as I literally said in my presentation is that we've covered Kashmir to Kanyakumari in India, and we don't mind doing this in any other country as well. So it's absolutely available in everywhere, wherever the client government permits us to do it. So that's a keyword there.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. VFID is available for which countries? I know you had a slide up about that, but I've again got that.
It's not approved for a few Schengens, but for majority of the Schengens, yes, it is approved. For UK, yes, it is approved. Canada and US, we're trying to do, but it might take some time. But almost 17, 18 countries, we offer the service. 17, 18 client governments offer this service. And those are in Schengen, you can name it. Italy offers it, Germany offers it, France does it. So you have the big players offering this service.
And if I might just add in here, for more details, please feel free to visit our website. And on the website, as Abdul mentioned, all you have to do is to select from the drop-down your destination and where you are applying from. So if you're, and this I'm mentioning for the benefit of our international audiences, who have logged on to this webinar, although the webinar is focused entirely on South Asia, but please feel free to go on to our website and from the drop-down select where you are currently based and what is your destination country, and then thereafter you would be able to find this.
Sorry, my bad, sorry. So the first and the foremost thing is to log on to the website. If you see, if you fill up a web form, we reach out to you. Henry presented during his presentation, he shared his email ID. There is one more email ID where you could drop it, and it's vfid@vfsglobal.com. You can drop in your queries and we'll be more than happy to serve you.
Perfect. Thank you. There's a very interesting question that's come up about corporate clients. So can somebody do this for their corporate clients? Can you go to a corporate office and offer VFID there? Could you talk a little more about this, please?
Yes, we can go to a corporate client and can offer the VFID service there as well, depending upon, as I just said in my presentation, that we need to have a documents ready prior. We would not be able to help you out with the documentation, like the form filling, and can along as per the checklist. As in when you are filling up the form, in some countries, the checklist comes after the form is filled. Then the documents are to be made ready as per the checklist. Some checklists are already been available on that country's website. Like VFS Italy, if you go to a VFS Italy's website, you would have a checklist for tourists, you would have a checklist for business. The documents are to be prepared accordingly.
Okay, perfect.
I would like to highlight one more thing here, because we were talking for UK, basically, VFID is available, but for a super priority visa, which is a visa in a day, sometimes we get queries for SPV visas as well in VFID. So the SPV visas are to be submitted to the embassy before 10 on daily basis. So we do not want to take request for SPV in the VFID. Priority cases are done, normal cases are also done, but for super priority, we would request all the applicants to visit the center as per the timings mentioned in their appointment sheet.
Wonderful.
At times this happens that we get requests for SPV visas as well, super priority visas for UK. Can we offer a VFID? So we have to say them no. So the form filling is done.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. If we have a Mumbai resident who wants to apply from another city, is that possible? In short, they want to know, are these services, VFID services, available for outstation clients as well?
Depending upon the country they are applying in for.
Okay.
Some countries have jurisdiction, some countries don't have jurisdiction. Like, for example, for Austria, you can apply pan-India anywhere from any part of the country, residing in any state. But for France, VFID, like we have a France embassy in Delhi, but a consulate in Bombay. So people can apply through Bombay as well and through Delhi as well. But at the same time, the appointment is mandatory. Abdul, you might want to take it over from here for your France consulate in Bombay.
So it's basically that certain countries allow you to apply pan-India because there's only one embassy in India. Certain countries have local consulates, so they have their own jurisdiction. So supposedly, if you're applying for an Hungarian visa, for West and South India, you need to have the jurisdiction as West and South. The website is fine and it serves the purpose.
Wonderful. Thank you for specifying that. Can you set up a 2-3 day B2B module when it comes to VFID? If a travel agent in a small town calls you for 3 days or 2 days and does a lot of applications, how would you go about something like that?
We can do it, Devika. That is not a problem. But at times, the machines are to be plugged in to the VFS network for the data transmission. So where the data is taken remotely, this might not be a problem. But where the data is taken online, this might be a problem.
So just to add to Mr. Bedi, we've actually done a 5-day clinic round.
We have also done it. It is just one odd case. I'm telling this might happen. We do cases for 5 days or a week, but this is one scenario which might happen.
Okay, sure. What are the benefits for travel agents? This is my favorite question always.
So I'll take that. I'll take that. So I think first time in last couple of months, we have started incentivizing travel agents, for buying this product for their customer. So as I said, of course, if you buy bulk, there is a special price mentioned on our website. But at the same time, if there are individual buying of these products, we have introduced incentive scheme. I shared the QR code. They can scan that. All the information is there. If they cannot scan that, they can write to b2bsales@vfsglobal.com. We'll be happy to share all the information with them. And this incentive is not only for VFID. There are incentive schemes for premium lounges, e-visas, and other products as well, right? So please feel free to reach out to us.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Moses, for that. Friends, I'm taking the last few questions, last 3-4 questions. In case there are more questions, please ask them in the chat tab. We will get back to you.
Application you can submit through a representative or a travel agent. But it's most preferred that if you're utilizing the service, rather just give your fingerprints, and it's better because if that 59 months can be up a little more time. And for UK, it's mandatory. It's important and it's mandatory for UK. Every time you apply for a visa, you have to give your fingerprints.
Perfect. What is the minimum number of people required to get VFID at your house?
I mean, see, if it's a within VFS city premises, it's there's no question. But if it's an individual customer, say I want to submit my application and he's from not the same city where the VFS VAC is, there's a travel cost which he needs to pay. Otherwise, I mean, we don't deny service to anyone. It's not to be denied at all. You request and we're there to serve you.
Perfect. How well in advance do you have to reserve VFID in tier 2 and tier 3 cities?
See, there's a specific travel cost for every VFID. I mean, the agent or a representative or an individual who's booking this has to ensure that the travel cost is to be minimized, and the earlier you do, the better to save on money, because any last moment travel is supposed to be expensive. We get requests from almost everywhere in the country and it's preferred to have it 15 days before, so that we could also plan, execute things in a better way. I mean, it's not that we can't do it if you tell us that 2 days before. We can still do it, but the most preferred channel is around a week or 2 weeks to plan and execute things in a better and a formalized way.
Wonderful, thank you. How many applicants can you handle per day when it comes to VAYD? Amazing, that's quite a large number. So if you booked an appointment in advance, and friends, this is the last question we are taking up today. We will get back to you. I know there are lots of questions in the chat. We will get back to you with the responses.
Devika, I would like to add on what just Abdul said, 80 to 85 applications if we are at one location. If we are in this city, then the numbers would reduce because of the travel time between the city from one location to another location.
Okay, wonderful.
If we are in Delhi or if we are in Bombay, but at one location, we can do like 80 to 100, depending upon the connection and stuff. But if you are in the local for the day traveling, then we can only cover 4 locations at the most if they're in one part, or 4 to 5 locations only, depending upon the numbers we have there. Because they would have to set up every time and then set up out every time.
Wonderful.
And then travel to next location. Yeah. This is just.
So friends, last question I'm taking up. If you booked a VAYD appointment a month in advance and you on the day or the day before you get more applicants, can you?
We will ensure it's all done as per team.
Wonderful. Thank you, friends, and thank you, team from VFS, for all those responses. There were a lot of questions regarding how to get in touch with VFS. I think Mr. Henry Moses has shared the email address while this presentation was going on. You can always reach out to VFS on that email address. I would like to now invite Mr. Vishal Jairath for his closing remarks. So over to you.
Thank you very much, Devika. Thank you, Henry, Abdul, and Amit, for all your comments for this presentation. And many thanks for all participants who have so eagerly asked for a lot of questions and a lot of very relevant questions. The only message that I would like to convey is, as VFS Global, we are at your service to provide you this exciting business opportunity, to service your customers, and to provide them with very flexible application submission options. We are here to fulfill all your needs and requirements, whatever are within our ambit, whatever more resources would be available at the embassy, at our client missions, to be able to service many more applications. Please feel free to reach out to Henry at the email address that he has provided to gather more details about this service. We would be very happy to share with you incentives scheme and incentive plan so that you can effectively service your customers anywhere within the metro cities where VFS is present, or outside in tier 2, tier 3, or tier 4 cities, wherever your customer base is. So thank you very much, and we remain reachable to you for any further clarity, for any further questions. Please do reach out. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jairath. Thank you so much. Mr. Henry Moses, before we let you go, we want you to mention the email address once again. I have a lot of requests for the email address, so if you could say that out loud once again, please.
Sure. It's b2bsales@vfsglobal.com.
And I think, Henry, we could write it down in the chat box, or they'll not be able to see that.
They will. We'll just put that down as well.
I'll do that right now.
Perfect. The team from VFS, thank you all for taking the time out for being here with us today. Thank you for telling us more about Visa at your doorstep, and I'm sure this partnership between the travel agents and VFS will be extremely healthy and will work out well. Thank you again, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.